From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a tropical weather update.
Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center on this Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, with your daily regularly scheduled tropical weather update. We have a lot to talk about in the Atlantic Basin as things are starting to heat up a little bit. We have Tropical Storm Gabrielle on the board as of 10 a.m. Central Time earlier this morning, officially becoming a tropical storm via the National Hurricane Center. We also have not one, it's kind of hard to tell looking at it, but two areas now being outlooked here by the National Hurricane Center for a low risk, but that's how they always start, a low risk of eventual tropical development from two separate waves behind Gabrielle. So things are starting to pick up a little bit. We'll talk about the details going forward here. First off, we'll start with Gabrielle that became a tropical storm during the late morning hours. As of the 10 a.m. Central Advisory, maximum sustained winds were at 45 miles per hour. Quick movement here to the north-northwest at 22 miles per hour. The next advisory update comes in at 4 p.m. Central this afternoon. And don't expect big changes because it's not terribly organized just yet, but the new advisory will be coming out for the late afternoon hours. The track here as of the late morning advisory carries it off to the northwest through the rest of the week, maintaining tropical storm intensity, and then forecast to become a hurricane late in the weekend and early next week as it turns northward into the western Atlantic, possibly getting somewhere close to Bermuda. We'll be watching that, and I can't rule out it possibly becoming a hurricane a little earlier into the weekend. We'll be watching that. Right now, it's not terribly organized. There is a center of circulation here, but it's broad. And for a large part of today, it was a little ill-defined, but maximum sustained surface winds with the convection on the eastern side did get up to around 45 miles per hour, estimated by satellite techniques and things like that. So that's why National Hurricane Center went ahead and pulled the trigger. Since it is tropical in nature, it has a center of circulation. There are thunderstorms co-located with it, and the wind criteria met that, even though it's not all that terribly favorably organized. But as it gets farther off to the west and northwest in the coming days, there is that potential for slow but gradual intensification, and it may become a hurricane, expected to officially as we head late into the weekend. But it's looking pretty clear that this is likely not going to be a threat to the mainland United States, recurving well offshore. Here are the tropical models, the computer model output. This isn't the forecast. This is kind of the tools in the toolbox that we use to put together the forecast. So think of it as not the bookshelf in your study or your office. It's not the final product, but it's the screwdriver and things like that we use to put the bookshelf together. It's the tools that we use to make the final product. But you can see there's a high degree of confidence here in this northwesterly track for the next several days, and then the northwesterly to northerly turn as we head toward early next week, and then an eventual kick out to the northeast here as we head to the middle part of next week. So not expecting this to be a direct landfall impact on the mainland United States by any means. We also have tropical wave activity out here behind this system that has some potential for slow development through the rest of the weekend, and then a bigger convective system here into Western Africa that will be rolling off. Now keep in mind, they usually don't maintain all that convection after they move out. It usually diminishes because of the temperature difference, not as great with instability over water as it is over land during the daytime. So what will look different over the next day or two, this will be rolling off the coast by Friday or before then, but it will have that mid-level circulation with it. It will have the surface reflection of the wave with it. And then if thunderstorms redevelop and get organized, it will have some potential to become a tropical system. So two different waves behind Gabrielle that we're watching as the tropics heat up just a little bit, as we've been expecting as we head toward the middle and latter part of September. Back off into the western Atlantic and the Gulf. Not too much, if anything, happening. We have some troughs of low pressure out here into the Gulf and also into the western Atlantic. Thunderstorm activity associated with that because you get uplift. However, they're not tropical in nature, and they're both associated with wind shear So not expecting tropical development with either of those systems. We now have Gabrielle checked off the list. So the next one will be Umberto, then Imelda, Jerry, Karen, and Lorenzo next down the list. And we'll see how far we get before the end of the hurricane season that ends the last day of November. Watch things very carefully. Our next regularly scheduled tropical update will be tomorrow afternoon. I'll be back here at 3 p.m. Central Time.